Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to be here today. Today we are going to do our presentation. First, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Abigail William.
My name is Giselle Tommy.
My name is Yonda Gimon.
My name is Carolina Santoso.
Did you guys know that there are over 129 million books that exist in this world? According to Google, there are over 129,864,880 books that have been published as of 2010. Have you ever wondered why everyone likes to read books? What is the benefits that they get from it? Well, let's start from the very beginning. From what is the definition of books? A book is a number of pieces of paper, usually with words printed on them, which are fastened together and fixed inside a cover or stronger paper or cardboard. Books contain information, stories, or poetry. Nowadays, books are used for many reasons, such as entertainment, religious purposes, studying, and more. The purpose of books is just one way of expressing the purpose of stories. The purpose of stories is not merely to reflect what it is, or what has been, or even what might be. The true purpose of stories is to use those reflections of fact to explore meaning. Now that you get to understand what is the definition of books, let's now look at what types of books. Based on the content, books are divided into two types. It is non-fiction and fiction books. Non-fiction books is a book that contains factual information, such as biographies and history books. And fiction books is a book that contains a story that the author made up, such as romance or children's books. The most commonly read works are works of fiction. Perhaps some of their elements are based on hints of truth, but they have been elaborated, fabricated, and used to embellish into a new story.
The next point is, what is the benefits that we can get from reading books? Why is reading good for us? Well, reading is good for us because first, it allows you to learn new things or gain a valuable knowledge to help you succeed in your work and relationship. One of the most obvious benefits of reading every day is learning. Unlike a YouTube video or podcast, books provide access to in-depth knowledge. For example, if you want to become more productive, which do you think you'll learn more from? A book by someone who studied productivity for 20 years, or a 10-minute YouTube video by someone who is just interested in the topic? Which do you think you'll absorb more from? Which do you think is more likely to help change your habits? Of course, you're gonna choose book, right? The second benefit is reading books can improve your memory. When you read a non-fiction book, you also consume an enormous amount of information on the subject you're reading about. You have to remember tons of information about the story's plot and subplots, the characters and their relationships, and the environment in which the story takes place. Another benefit of reading books is that they can improve our ability to empathize with others. A study has found that when we read stories that explore characters' inner lives and emotions, our ability to understand others' feelings and views are improved. For example, experiencing the world through the eyes of Harry Potter or Jane Eyre can help us to learn to see the world from the perspective of our families, friends, and coworkers. The next benefit is it can improve our communication skills and vocabulary. We already know that communication is a vital life skill. A study has discovered that 69% of employers are looking to hire people with soft skills such as effective communication. And the good news is, one of the key benefits of reading is that it helps us to communicate better. Reading every day can improve our communication skills in a few ways. For example, reading can influence your writing and increase your vocabulary. Another one is it can improve our focus. Being able to concentrate and focus for long periods is essential to our success and well-being. Thankfully, one of the key benefits of reading is that it helps you practice concentrating on just one thing at a time. For example, a novel requires all of your attention for it to whisk you away to another world. And if you want to learn from a non-fiction book, it requires you to be fully present and engaged. The pros of reading also extend to mental health. Studies have shown that reading as little as 6 minutes per day can improve your quality of sleep, reduce stresses, and sharpen mental acuity. And last, it can improve our critical thinking skills. Critical thinking is an important skill for us to develop as we grow. Good critical thinking skills can be attained in a variety of ways. Reading mystery books is one way. Books supply a landscape which can develop critical thinking skills simply by enjoying the story and then discussing it and analyzing it with others. Books that are best for creating critical thinkers are surprisingly fictional stories. Because fiction is more of an art form, it leads us down paths that they are left to invent a large part of themselves. Now let's have a look at the world reading habits in 2020. The digital reader page supported by Amazon on November 10, 2020 are releasing the 2020 World Reading Habits infographic. There are several highlights from the infographic that are interesting to look at, such as the time spent reading per week. Of the 22 countries ranked, India is said to read more than any other country. They read an average of 10 hours and 42 minutes per week, followed by Thailand in second place with a long reading time per week of 9 hours and 24 minutes. China is in third place with an average of 8 hours of reading per week. How about Indonesia? Indonesia is ranked 16 with an average reading time of 6 hours per week. In a pandemic situation in 2020, Indonesia reading rating has increased, but the average reading level remains, which is 6 hours per week. How about reading interest in Indonesia? According to the latest survey data from Digital Reader, Indonesian people's reading interest is increasing every year. As you guys can see on the chart, in 2017, the percentage of reading interest in Indonesia reached 36.48%, and in 2018, the percentage of reading interest in Indonesia reached 52.92%, and in 2019, it reached 53.84%. In addition, interest in reading has also increased during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is due to the new pattern of people spending more time at home to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 outbreak. And for what types of books are most demanded in Indonesia? A survey from Picodi.com shows that fiction books are the most popular books among the public. The number of respondents who chose this type of book reached 75%. That's much higher than non-fiction, which is 41%, business 33%, popular science 31%, hobby literature 24%, and science literature and textbooks 22%.
I have prepared some fun facts about books for you guys to see. Did you know the most expensive book that ever purchased was sold for $30,800,000? It is equal to 437 million in rupiah. It was a book called Codex Leicester by Leonardo da Vinci, and it was purchased by Bill Gates according to Business Insider. And do you guys ever watch the movie Alice in Wonderland or read the books? Well, the story Alice in Wonderland itself is based on a real 10-year-old girl story. Her name was Alice Liddell, and her family was close friends with author Lewis Carroll. While on a boating trip, she asked him to tell her a story, and that's how the story of Alice in Wonderland was born.
It's a book from Hanim Sanim, cut the things you can see only when you slow down. This book contains guides on the own well-being and happiness in 8 areas including relationship, love, and spirituality. The author emphasizes the importance of forging deeper relationship with others and being compassionate and forgiving toward oneself. This book providing a reflection that when we slow down, the world slow down with us. This is my favorite quotes from this book. Life isn't 100-meter race and against your friends, but a lifelong marathon against yourself. The second book, it's called The Mountain Issue by Brianna West. This is a book about self-sabotage, why we do it, when we do it, and how to stop doing it for good. This is also my favorite quotes from this book. One day the mountain that is in front of you will be so far behind you. It will barely be visible in the distance, but the person you becoming in learning to get over it, that will stay with you forever. And that is the point of the mountain.
Now we get to the conclusion. Reading books give us a tons benefits that we didn't notice. It helps us develop our thoughts, gives us an endless knowledge and lessons. You don't know how beneficial something is until you try it. I hope my presentation today show you how much advantage that reading books gives to us, and it can increase your habit and love of reading books. I think that's all for our presentation today. Thank you very much for the attention. Any question, opinion, or suggestion are welcome.